November 28th, aka SOKA Day of Spiritual Independence. Backstory: what happened 25 years ago? On November 28th, 1991, the SGI and its roughly 10 million members were excommunicated by the Nichiren Shoshin priesthood. With the excommunication, the priesthood had aimed to create fear and confusion among SGI members, hoping many of them would flock to Nichiren Shoshin. Instead, since then, SGI members have joyfully celebrated this day to mark spiritual independence from corrupt priesthood. With time, the deceitful, self-serving nature of the priesthood has become all more clear. The groundless act of excommunicating millions of SGI members, directed by then priesthood Nikan, veered the plot to discredit SGI President Ikeda, to do away with SGI and oppress, dominate, and control its members, and to therefore destroy the great momentum of cosmic movement. What was the historical precedence? In 1279, Nichiren's disciples in the village of Atsukura faced the height of persecution that had been intensifying for several years. These farmers without social status carried on the same dauntless spirit that Nichiren displayed, staunchly defending their faith even at the height of losing their lives. In the end, 3 disciples were executed and 17 were banished from the village. Quote, as President Ikeda says, those who tap into the depths of their wisdom and persevere in the efforts to lead more than one person to happiness can break through the binding chains of all kinds of preconceived ideas and prejudices, and defeat all an alienating ignorance of disbelief and disrespect. Those who battle and negativity and delusions can cleanse and polish their lives with a purifying stream that washes away spiritual decay. They can develop an infinitely vast and expensive state of life that desires the happiness of all humanity. That's living Buddhism, page 91 and 1992, 2006. I find myself wanting to help people beyond social roles, but I find it difficult to execute. I often find myself looking for guidance outside myself. I also find myself sharing negative news on social media, asking myself what can I do to better the situation. But all at the same time, I find myself not being able to chant, not being able to get up in the morning sometimes too. Like I feel all this stuff going on, negativity. Like I want to make a difference, but it's like hard though too. But I just keep going. So, what is to that point? What's a spiritual liberated person? The Asura martyrs stood up against abuse by power and those in power. In the events of 1991, we cried the members of SGI to stand up against on their own against the religious authoritarianism and the arrogant behavior of the priesthood. A month after notice of excommunication was issued, the SOKA Gakkai sent a petition on December 27, signed by 16.25 million people, demanding Nichiren's resignation as the high priesthood. President Ikeda states, it was Nikan on the contrary of those who were excommunicated by a global alliance of Buddhist officers of the earth, 16 million strong, November 2016, Living Buddhism. Just as Nichiren and his disciples have demonstrated, faith in Nichiren Dharmasonam and access to those Buddhisthood is not gained through intermediately, nor is it granted to us by priests or anyone else. It is realized through the efforts of our own efforts to elevate our state.